Welcome to Renewing Your Mind, where we explore the timeless wisdom of Florence Scovel Shinn's classic book, The Game of Life and How to Play It. I'm Alexis, and in this series, we'll dive deep into the principles that can transform your life. Florence's teachings are all about harnessing the power of your thoughts and words to create a life of abundance, success, and joy. Whether you're looking to improve your career, relationships, or overall well being, her insights provide you with ideas that'll help you achieve your dreams. Join me as we uncover practical strategies and inspiring stories that show just how powerful your mind can be. Subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any episodes. Now let's jump into renewing our minds together. Chapter 7 is entitled Love. In this chapter, Florence explains the importance of love in your life when you are attempting to live life according to your terms and your desires. Love is nothing more but a frequency, and it's the God frequency. God is love. In anything and everything that we do, if we want to produce the best version of our lives, we do it in the frequency of love. As we also already know, God is our supply. So if God is love, that means love is our supply. And so when we want the best of everything as we live here in this 3D realm, we have to operate from the frequency of love in order to bring or attract all of these things to us. So she has a lot of different nuggets she points out in this chapter. The first one being that real love is selfless and free from fear. Now, the selfless part comes from your higher self and not your 3D realm self. So your higher self is your God self. It's the self of you that's connected directly to the creator of all that is. And it's this self that understands the fact that we're all connected, that understands that we all originate from the same source, and we're the individualized expressions of the divine as we're all here on this 3D realm. So in this 3D realm, it doesn't necessarily look like we're connected if you're just looking from using your 5 physical senses, but your highest version of yourself or your God self understands the connection that we all have, aka the bigger picture. So in this 3D realm, it does look like a lot of people tend to be selfish sometimes, meaning they're just thinking about themselves. In this moment, I'm only thinking about what's best for me. What do I like? What do I want to do, not want to do, or whatever. And although that is actually a good thing, it depends on the energy you're in when you're doing that, which is why Florence points out being selfless. So when we move into alignment to perfect love, that's the only way we can be selfless, because that is when you get to see the bigger picture and not just your individual perspective of what's going on. An example of this could be, let's say, a caregiver attempting to feed 3 different children, 3 different age groups. You have a baby, let's say a 3-month-old, and let's say a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old. Okay, well, all 3 of them are hungry, and all 3 of them are looking like, okay, where's my food? They're not looking at the fact that, okay, well, this caregiver has to now feed all 3 of us, so let me be patient and just wait my turn, right? They're not looking at the whole, the bigger picture. In that moment, they're looking at themselves. That's it. I'm hungry. My stomach's growling. And I know the infant would definitely make a fuss. The toddler probably would as well, right? And so that's what a lot of us do here on the 3D realm. We literally can only see ourselves. We don't see the bigger picture. And let's say in the same example, let's say there's a fire in the house and the caregiver is actually tending to the fire. Well, again, the 3 kids are only thinking about their growling tummies, and they're not even considering the fact that, hey, there's a fire that's actually more important because it's threatening our entire well-being if it's not put out, right? But because these three are being technically selfish, thinking about themselves at this time, and that's it, they don't consider the bigger picture. And so love considers the bigger picture. And you honestly can't do that unless you are aligned with the God frequency, unless you are aligned with the creator of all that is, source, universe, whatever you want to call it. But you have to be aligned to that oneness in order to be selfless. Then you can see the bigger picture. Now, being selfless does not mean you let everyone walk all over you, or you're a doormat, or people get to take advantage of you, or anything like that. Because an actual person who's in aligned with their God selves, they also love themselves, right? They also consider themselves. They honor themselves. And so they have healthy boundaries, and they understand what actual love is. They understand the God frequency, which means you may ask of my assistance with something, or ask me to go somewhere, anything like that, and I get to tune in to my divine highest good, my truth, and my authentic self, and ask, is this in alignment with what I have going on for myself? And if the answer is no, then in so much love and grace, I can just respond and say no. I thank you for your offer, but no, I would not like to go there, or I would not like to do that, or whatever. So being selfless does not mean you don't have boundaries. It does not mean that someone gets to walk all over you. It just means that you understand the connection that you have with the all that there is, God, source, whatever you call it. You know that you're in that connection, and you're in alignment with that connection, and you're allowing that connection to lead your life. That's where you're leading from. So sometimes you will tell other people no, sometimes you'll tell other people yes. That has nothing to do with your earthly boundaries, just because you are selfless. So love being selfless is the first thing. And then she also points out that it's free from fear. Well, we know fear is ultimately the threat of harm to your safety, or just a threat of punishment. So it's like a dread that you feel. Now, when you're walking in that authentic love, when you're aligned with that God frequency, well, you don't have a fear of punishment. You don't have a fear of dread, that something is threatening to harm you or anything like that, because we already have learned that you only receive in whatever you're given out. Remember, life is like a boomerang. You reap what you sow. And if the only thing I'm vibrating out, because my frequency is that of love, that is also what comes back in to me. Everything works out for my benefit, no matter what it looks like. It's all working out for me. And why is it working out for me? Because I am in the frequency of love, so it has to work out for me. So real love is both selfless and it is free from fear. Now, the other thing that she points out is that pure, unselfish love draws to itself its own. And that's just what I said before, that's the only thing you can receive. So if you're looking, I know a lot of us look for love in relationships and things like that. But in order to receive that love, you have to be giving it. You already have to be in the frequency of it. The other person cannot give you what you aren't already given. Now, love does not mean, again, that you're a doormat, you're bending over backwards for someone, or you have unhealthy boundaries. That's not love. That's not love at all. But when you're able to be in that frequency of love, you're able to receive it back. And then when we go back to the original thought, God is love. God is also our supply. So love is our supply. When you stay in the frequency of love, when you stay in the frequency of that connection, understanding the overall bigger picture and the connection to source and how we're all connected, and keep your healthy boundaries, don't forget about those, then you have everything that you need coming at you all day, every day. And love is simply being able to see someone else's divinity and see your own divinity. I'm able to see you as God sees you, and I'm able to see myself as God sees me as well. That means I'm able to accept you exactly as you are because I see your God self. And the more of your God self that I see in you, and the more of my God self that I see in me, that's the more is being multiplied and reproduced out here in the 3D realm. That's also what our protection is, right? Because game of life is like a boomerang. If I'm continuously seeing my God self within me, your God self within you, those are the only things that can manifest in my life, things that are in alignment with my God self. So love, being in a frequency of love is such a beautiful thing, and it puts us in alignment with everything that is good for us and that's best for us. And it's a very, very important factor in the game of life. So just don't forget to operate from the frequency of love. Love is not something you get from this 3D realm. It literally is God. So tune into the highest version of you and make that choice every day to make all your decisions from that place of that connection, from that place of love. And you'll see that you'll have everything that you could ever want. So that's chapter 7. I definitely look forward next week to chapter 8.